Okay, we're about to start here. Okay. It sounds like some of you are getting kicked out. That's the little kick out noise that I keep hearing. Hopefully that will get fixed. Last night, apparently Zoom was down all over the world and it seems to be working today. So let's cross our fingers and hope that it continues to work for the rest of this lesson, at least. I see some of you got a little concerned because I wasn't in 10 minutes early. Just getting a later start today. Okay.
How are you guys?
I am good. And you, Cassidy?
I'm tired
Yeah.
because I went to go pick up my mom's sister and we came home at 3:48 in the morning.
Oh, wow. You went to the airport?
Mhm.
It takes a while sometimes. All right, well, we're going to get started in about 1 minute. Yeah, I haven't had to pick anybody up at the airport for several years, so that's been good for us, I guess. All right, so we're going to be covering 2 lessons today, lessons 204 and 205. 204 is a little bit longer than 205, so bear with me. As you know, we're getting closer to the end of the semester. We only have 5 weeks of our semester left. Yeah, I'm not counting Thanksgiving week. So 5 school weeks left of our semester. So it's really important that if you're not on pace, you get on pace. Julian, I know you finished the semester, but not everybody has. I think there's 1 other person besides you, and then another is just about to finish. Okay, so yes, Julian was asking about who's finished and who's not. You can finish this semester early. Yes, Cassidy.
Isn't 205 for next week?
No, 205 is this week. Got to get it done by Sunday. Look at your page chart. Look at my announcement page. I always tell you this is the
204 is for 11 and 205 is for 12.
No, this is week 12.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you want, I can escape out of this. I will show you my announcement page. Okay, if you look at the announcement page, always here, week 12, work due this week, 204 quiz, 205 written assignment. And then this is what I cover in the live lessons. That makes sense? So let's get on to our lesson. And we're going to be learning about the verb gustar. And first, we have to review what we did in 202 and 203 last week. Last week, we learned about more school supplies, telling time, using Manos to tell time. That was all in lesson 203. The difference between the 12 and 24-hour clocks and schools in Spanish-speaking countries. Now, remember, and that was schools in Spanish speaking countries with more lesson 202. Remember that the DBA for module 2 is going to come mostly from lesson 203 and 202. Okay, so keep that in mind. Get to the DBA, which will be something we do next week. The next week is a short week. We do not have school on Friday next week because it's Veterans Day. So I have already pre-recorded the lessons that are supposed to be for next week. And I'll send those out by email, but they are available under the recordings section of my announcement page, which I'll show you when we're done. Okay, so objectives for lesson 204, we're going to learn about describing what we like or don't like at school, more vocab, understanding more of the differences between likes and dislikes, using the verb gustar, and how to identify or use the verb gustar with verbs. This is the Florida State Standards. Okay, you know that most of your lessons begin with the blog with Caleb, and you can watch this. You should watch this just to hear the Spanish of native Spanish speakers so that you get used to it. Let's try this again. These are some things from that dialogue. Hola amigos, hi friends. Mi papá, my dad. Tres, three. El concierto de, the concert of. Yo tengo la clase de educación física el jueves a las 13 horas. I have PE on Wednesday at 1 p.m. Yo tengo la clase de ciencias. I have science class. A las 13 horas at 1 p.m. ¿Qué pasa? What's up? Tengo, I have. Notice the 13 horas is that's the 24-hour clock or military time. Sorpresa. ¿Qué es? Surprise, what is it? ¿Y qué escuchas? And what do you listen to? ¿Les gusta? You like it? Sí, me gusta. Yes, I like it. Justino es mi artista favorito. Justino is my favorite artist. Dímelo, tell me. Tengo 3 tickets for su concierto. I have 3 tickets for his concert. Me gusta mucho. I like a lot. I like him a lot. Dia is day. Gracias is thanks. And de nada is you're welcome. Okay. Now, you have here this girl, she's got a very large skirt. When I was in 6th grade growing up in California, I learned how to dance using these large skirts. I think my mom was the one who made me a skirt like that. And, you know, you had to bring the skirt around and all these different things. We did the hat dance. This was part of our folkloric dancing. It was actually part of our PE classes when I grew up. And because, you know, California and Mexico are right next door to each other. Okay, so I'm going to go over the ground words here. Bailar, to dance. Dibujar, to draw. Mirar, to watch. Tiempo libre, free time. We're going to go over our likes and dislikes. Okay, we've got me gusta, I like. Me gusta la música, I like the music. Estudiar, to study. Me gusta estudiar para la clase de estudios sociales. I like to study for social studies. Hablar, to talk. Me gusta hablar con mis amigos. I like to talk with my friends. Escuchar, to listen. Me gusta escuchar música. I like to listen to music. Contar, to count. Me gusta contar en la clase de matemáticas. I like to count in that class. All right, so we're going to do a little practice here, and you can look at the pictures to help you decide what's the correct answer. It says Mario usa his fingers para blank del 1 a 10. Okay, so he's using his fingers to do something. What is he doing? Is it contar, estudiar, hablar, or escuchar? And of course, you want to use the chat to let me know your answer. Valeria says contar, right, to count. All right. Me gusta blank because yo soy inteligente. I like something because I'm intelligent. Is it contar, estudiar, hablar, or escuchar? You could put 1, 2, 3, or 4 if you like. Estudiar, that's right, Anka. Dice, use el teléfono para blank con su amiga Renata. Okay, so she's using the phone to do something. Hablar, escuchar, contar, or estudiar. What makes sense? Okay. Hablar is the correct answer. So we mark that. Me gusta blank música every day. So what does she like to do with music? That's right, Valeria, escuchar. She likes to listen to music every day. All right, so we're going to learn a little bit about the PE class. Okay, keep in mind, we're still in lesson 204. We're learning about schools in Spanish-speaking countries, which is something that might be on your PPA. Okay, so it says, mi nombre es Roberto y soy de Costa Rica. My name's Robert, I'm from Costa Rica. I'm the boy with the green shirt on in this photo. En la foto, I'm playing con mis amigos en las calles de Punta Arenas, Costa Rica. I'm playing in the street with Punta Arenas, Costa Rica. Yo soy an athlete, so he's an athlete. Y me gusta la clase de educación física, I like PE. Not all athletes have la oportunidad de jugar un deporte en las escuelas. So not all athletes can play sports in school. Algunas escuelas don't have un equipo de deportes after la escuela termina. Some schools don't have a sports team after, that plays sports after school. Mi amigo Fernando plays basketball, pero la escuela donde mi amigo goes doesn't have a team de basketball. He plays it, but there's no team. Fernando plays antes y después de la escuela con sus amigos. He plays before and after school with his friends. If you like to jugar basketball, if you like to play basketball, baseball, football, soccer, tennis, golf, and volleyball, you might have to do it outside school, maybe in your city or community. A lot of middle schools do not have teams, and it's not until you get to high school that you have teams. So in some ways, our schools are very much like schools in Costa Rica. Okay. It says the resources en las escuelas de los países hispanohablantes son limited. So their resources are limited unless it's una escuela especializada de un deporte, unless it's a specialized school for a certain sport. For example, Honduras tiene escuelas especializadas en football. Honduras has schools that specialize in soccer. That'd be pretty wild if you're a soccer player. Since there are limited resources in algunas escuelas, students play in el patio de recreo. It can be just an open field. So because of limited resources, sometimes they just play in an open field. There might not be any swing slides or monkey bars. El patio de recreo de mi escuela has an open field y a mí me gusta jugar fútbol con Fernando y Santiago a la hora de recreo. So they just have an open field, they go out there, play soccer, and that's how they work off their extra energy. Okay, let's try this again. All right, now at the bottom of this page where it says te gusta means you like. So they say, te gusta hablar con tu amigo Luis. You like to talk with your friend Luis. Aprender, to learn. Te gusta aprender en la clase de cálculo. You like to learn in calculus class. Leer, to read. Te gusta leer un libro. You like to read a book. Comer, to eat. Te gusta comer la fruta. You like to eat the fruit. Escribir, to write. Te gusta escribir en tu cuaderno. You like to write in the notebook. So these are all new words. Te gusta, you like, aprender, to learn, leer, to read, comer, to eat, escribir, to write. So let's practice a little bit here. Te gusta blank el reporte de inglés con un lápiz. You like to do something with the English report with him. So look at the picture. What should it be? Leer, aprender, comer, o escribir? You like to something in the English report with a pencil. Okay, the correct answer is number 4, escribir. You like to write the English report with a pencil. Me gusta blank en la clase de estudios sociales. I like to do something in social studies class. Pintar, comer, contar, or aprender. What would make the most sense? Annika says aprender, to learn. Yes. Te gusta blank en la computadora. Is it hablar, comer, escribir, or contar? What's he doing? Well, he's not using the second one, comer, because he's not eating. And the last one is contar, to count, so he's not counting. So would it be 1 or 3? Monica says 3, yes, that's 3 years, he's writing. Me gusta blank hamburguesas con mis amigos en la escuela. Leer, contar, comer, o aprender. The third one, right? Comer, like people. Me gusta blank un libro en el parque. Aprender, leer, comer, o hablar. The second one, leer. Yeah, we have some cognates here. El reporte, the report is a cognate, and el proyecto, the project. Now we're going to learn a little bit about food. ¿Te gusta comer? Do you like to eat? Who doesn't? En la escuela, tú vas a la cafetería para comer. You go to the cafeteria to eat. En algunos países, like in España, lunch may last up to 2 horas. So in some countries, like Spain, lunch can be 2 hours long. Pero en muchas escuelas, lunch lasts for 1 hora. But in many schools, lunch is only 1 hour. In algunos países, food is cooked on site, but it's different from what you may comer en tu escuela. Por ejemplo, es común comer. So they cook the food right there, but it's different. So they might have arroz, el arroz, which is rice, or los frijoles, beans, or los plátanos, bananas. And these are, and los plátanos, you know, they're green. These are the plantains. Okay. Plantains are often mashed up and fried, kind of like a potato. If you were to eat them raw, they would not taste good. Okay, también se dice los frijoles for beans. Another word is las habichuelas for beans, and that's in the Caribbean where they use that word. Well, Mr. Schaefer. Okay. Le gusta. Le gusta means he or she likes. It could also be usted likes, the you formal. Le gusta la clase de español. She likes Spanish class. Cantar, to sing. Le gusta cantar música en inglés. She likes to sing music in English. Just flipping around here. Le gusta practicar deportes los lunes. He likes to play sports on Mondays. Le gusta cocinar los domingos. She likes to cook on Sundays. Cocinar means cook. Pasar tiempo con means to spend time with. Le gusta pasar tiempo con sus amigos. She likes to spend time with her friends. So we've got le gusta, he or she likes. Cantar, to sing. Practicar deportes, practice sports. Cocinar, to cook. And pasar tiempo con, to spend time with. These are no vocab words for this. So looking at this picture, would we use cantar, jugar fútbol, practicar deportes, or cocinar? Okay, several of you have picked practicar deportes to practice sports. That is correct. What about this one? Cocinar, comer, cantar, pasar tiempo con. This would be the first one, cocinar, because you've got that fire. You've got this is a type of outdoor stove. You've got that big platter that they're using to cook on. So cocinar. Okay, if you don't recognize this guy, this is Ricky Martin. He's a famous singer. So which verb will be, or phrase will be used with him? Yes, the second one, cantar, to sing. All right, now look, we're looking at this group and they're in front of this monument in Washington, D.C. Okay. But what are they doing together? Yes, pasar tiempo con. They're spending time with each other. Okay. Now we're going to go over verbs. Okay, we have lots of verbs in Spanish, but you notice that our verbs end with the letters AR or ER, or they end with IR. And these are some examples of the verbs that end with AR. AR verbs, we've got escuchar, to listen, contar, to count, estudiar, to study, hablar, to talk, cocinar, to cook, pasar, to pass or to spend time, bailar, to dance, mirar, to look. Our ER verb examples, we have aprender, to learn, comer, to eat, leer, to read. And then our IR verb examples, we have escribir, to write, vivir, to live, and decidir, to decide. Okay, now each of these verbs has a certain format on how we use them. Thank you, Joanne, about that monument. Okay, but we're not learning how to conjugate our verbs today. What we're learning is to use our verbs with gustar. So when we say that we like something, we use me gusta, te gusta, le gusta, I like, you like, he or she likes, and then we have the infinitive. So me gusta cantar, oops. Me gusta cantar, I like to sing. Cantar is left as an infinitive. We don't change it at all. And we just have me gusta before. I like to sing. And then if the baby's eating, te gusta comer, you like to eat. Or le gusta bailar, he likes to dance. Gustar can also mean it pleases. It's not just I like or to like, but to be pleased. So it pleases me to sing, it pleases you to eat, pleases him or her to dance, or just like. Okay, sometimes we want to be a little bit, we want to put on some extra emphasis to say, who does the like? If I say, a mí me gusta cantar, I'm saying, I myself like to sing. A ti te gusta comer, you yourself, you like to eat. A él le gusta bailar, he himself, he likes to dance. Same with a ella le gusta bailar, she likes to dance. A Pedro le gusta bailar, he likes to dance. Okay, so these are things that we don't have to add, but we can add. Now, to say that you don't like something, it's actually quite simple. All you do is you put the word no before may or te or lay. Okay, and you would, so they've got the a mí before it, but you say I don't like something, you just say no me gusta, I don't like. No me gusta cantar, I don't like to sing. If you want to add the extra emphasis, a mí no me gusta cantar. For myself, I don't like to sing. A ti no te gusta comer. You don't like to eat. A mi papá no le gusta bailar. My father doesn't like to dance. Any questions on this? I'm going to go over a few examples here. Okay, and these are kind of long paragraphs, so bear with me. Okay. Buenas tardes, mi nombre es Erika y mi apellido, as last name, es González. En la clase de educación física me gusta practicar deportes. Mis deportes favoritos son el tenis, el fútbol y el voleibol. A Marisol no le gusta jugar voleibol, pero le gusta jugar fútbol. Marisol always llega temprano para practicar los lunes, miércoles y viernes. Mi amiga Marisol es atleta. Hasta luego. What does Marisol like to play? So you got to look back at the paragraph. Does she like to play volleyball, soccer, tennis, or basketball? What does she like to play? She likes to play soccer, that's right. All right, so let's go on to this other one. And this is, yeah, this is the same story. Sorry. Okay, this is the same story. So the next question is, what sport doesn't Marisol like to play? Does she not like to play basketball, tennis, soccer, or volleyball? Right, volleyball. All right, same story here. What days does the team play soccer? You do the little paragraph. What days does the team play soccer? Okay. Let's see where it says Marisol always llega temprano para practicar los lunes, miércoles, y viernes. So those days in English would be what? Be the first one, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. That's right. Lunes is Monday. All right, let's look at this last one. What sport does Erica like to play? Remember, Erica is the girl who began telling us about this. Okay. She likes to play more than one sport, actually. So what do we have listed here? Yes, tennis, soccer, and volleyball. Okay. All right, here's a little bit different. Hola amigos, yo soy Juan. Tengo la clase de música, mi clase favorita, a las 14 horas. A mí me gusta escuchar música, cantar, bailar, dibujar y pasar tiempo con mi amiga Patricia. ¿Qué clase le gusta a Juan? What's his favorite class? The second one, music class, right? Okay, now we have this last one. A mí me gusta escuchar música, cantar, bailar, dibujar y pasar tiempo con mi amiga Patricia, pero mi actividad favorita es escuchar música. What activities does one like to do? Well, he likes that, but okay, number one would be the best description. We're gonna skip over here. We've got 2 lessons to get through. We're gonna look at sports, okay? So in football, soccer used to be known as Suitsku. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, because those are not Spanish words. This sport was intentionally created to be played using the feet and not the hands. Today, this sport is known worldwide and is very famous in Spanish-speaking countries. Did you know that volleyball was created in Massachusetts by a PE director? We wanted to create a game that required physical activity, but did not use a lot of equipment. Maybe they had a very small budget. All right, so for lesson 204, you will have a quiz. And remember that you've learned a little bit about likes and dislikes. You've learned about sports and lunchtime in Spanish-speaking countries. You've also learned how to compare some of the Spanish-speaking schools to those in the United States. Now for lesson 205, our objectives are simple. You're going to write a blog on a social site. You're going to use questions to write simple answers in Spanish and write a simple blog about school life. This is your first real writing assignment, not including quizzes. So don't get too freaked out. Okay? It'll be simpler than we think. Okay. Now we're looking first at classes in other countries. Okay, we've got an Honduran school. You see, now all these kids are wearing uniforms. Okay, and so they've got white shirts in Honduras. It looks like light blue shirts in Nicaragua, more white shirts in Costa Rica. And you see that, you know, they might have a vest or they might not have a vest. Boys often wear neckties, but not, doesn't look like in Honduras. Okay. These are things that might or might not be different from our schools in the United States. All right, so now we are comparing this little blog here, okay? All right, so she's got a title for her blog, and she's got a date, and she says, "Hola amigos, mi nombre es Isabel y soy de Costa Rica." Hi friends, my name is Isabel and I'm from Costa Rica. Yo voy a la escuela de lunes a viernes. I go to school from Monday to Friday. Mi escuela tiene dos turnos. My school has two shifts, basically. You know, most of the time there'd be more, some in the morning, some in the afternoon. Mi primera clase empieza a las 7:30 de la mañana. My first class begins at 7:30 in the morning. Me gusta la clase de álgebra. I like algebra. Es una clase interesante, it's interesting. Mi segunda clase es la clase de educación física. My second class is PE. No me gusta la clase de educación física, no soy atlético. So I don't like PE because I'm not athletic. Mi clase última termina a las 3. My last class ends at 13 hours. That would be 1 p.m. ¿Cómo es tu escuela? What's your school like? Tu escuela tiene turnos? Does your school have shifts? ¿Y a qué hora empieza tu primera clase? What time does your first class begin? Okay, so this is an example, but you're not going to do all of this for your assignment. Some. So for your assignment, you're going to write 4 sentences. And you've got to have 1 to 2 images, pictures. They can be clip art, can be a drawing that you made, can be a picture that you found on the internet, but it's got to be school supplies, okay, or pencils and paper and things like that. 4 sentences, you're going to be talking about your school day. Here's a template that we have. This is what the template looks like. Okay, so these are the first 3 sentences. Write 1 sentence in Spanish to tell what your first class of the day is. The example here is, first is Spanish class, okay? You could say my first class is Spanish, or my first class is math, or whatever it is. Okay, so here it says under the hints, start your sentence with the ordinal number first. So remember that the word clase, is feminine. So mi primera clase, my first class, okay? Use the verb es to state what your first class is. So in the chat box, I would like you guys each to type out a very short sentence to tell me what is your first class, okay? My first class is in Spanish, of course. I want to see you all typing in the chat box. We don't have a whole lot left here, so don't worry, this is not going to go very long. Remember, say my first class, mi primera clase, and then it says use the verb es, so mi primera clase es, and then the name of the class. Remember, you've learned a lot of different class subjects in the last few weeks. So just pick one. Because, you know, you guys decide your schedule, which is your first class of the day. Yes, you can type in Spanish. Mi primera clase es, and then your subject. Is it math, science, history, English, Spanish? What's your first class of the day? Again, everybody's schedule is a little different because you guys work at home. Okay. Rosella says, mi primera clase es inglés. And she has remembered that we don't capitalize the first letter of a class subject. So that was good. Very good. All right. Anybody else want to give me an example? In the chat box. Remember, I'm the only one who can see it. Remember, this is a written assignment, so we don't want to all have the exact same thing. But there are going to be some similarities. Okay, someone said science. Remember that science is plural. So we don't say ciencia, we say ciencias. Primo is cousin, so primera is first. Okay, very good. Lots of good examples. All right, let's look at the second sentence. Write one sentence in Spanish to tell at what time your second class starts. Their example here is English class starts at 8:30 in the morning. Remember in lesson 203, we learned about telling time in Spanish. Okay, so let's say, oops, sorry, hold on. Ah, let's try it again. Sorry. Okay, so this is at what time your second class starts. So if your first class is social studies, maybe your second class might be math. Okay, so how would you say math class in Spanish? And look under the hints. It says use empieza to express what time your class starts. Use a before la or before las to express at what time the class begins or starts. Okay, so all right, someone wrote me, okay, we're not talking about your first class, so we're talking about your second class. So let's say your second class is math. How would you say math class in Spanish? My math class. Go ahead and type in the chat box. I'm the only one who can see it. Okay, so we wouldn't say mi matemáticas clase. That would be wrong. We would say la clase de matemáticas or mi clase de matemáticas. And then, yes, we use empieza because they've given that to us. Mi clase de matemáticas empieza. And then the time. It could be a las 2, a las 12, a las 8. And it's good if you can put in, instead of AM or PM, you put in, if it's a AM, you put de la mañana after the time, or if it's in the afternoon, de la tarde. Even if it's in the evening, de la noche. Okay. So very good examples here. We're going to look at the third sentence. Write one sentence in Spanish to tell what class you like. I like algebra class. Now you wouldn't just say I like math or I like English. You would say I like English class or I like math class. Okay. And remember when we're talking about a class, we'd say la clase de blah. So how do you say I like? It says use the correct form of gustar using the pronoun me. In the chat box, just type out I like using gustar. I like. Me gusta. Right. Thank you, Julian. Okay. So what do you like? One of your classes, right? So I like participants. And what class do you like? Okay. Me gusta la clase de ciencias. Very good. Remember that we've got to use me gusta, not gustar, right? Because we've got to use our verb gustar correctly. I like is me gusta. Could be any class that you like a lot. Let's go back. Yeah. Okay, sorry about that. Last sentence. And we want to use may, not me, may, M-E, may gusta la clase. Okay, I'm going to put this in everybody. Me gusta, not me gustar, or me gusta. All right, sentence 4. Write one sentence in Spanish telling me 2 school supplies you have in your backpack. In my backpack, I have some notebooks and a calculator. Okay, now, I've had some people turn this assignment into me and say, I don't have anything in my backpack. Well, guess what? That's not an option because they want you to use your vocab that you've learned in this class about school supplies. So you have to have something in your backpack, even if it's, you made it up. Okay. But it's got to be school supplies. So yo tengo, I have. So that's easy. They've given it to you. I have. Okay. And what do you have? Well, you've got to use an indefinite article. Let's see. Before. Got to use an indefinite article before each item. Like un lápiz, una calculadora, unos libros, unas, okay, use the preposition in to express what's in your backpack. So someone has said, en mi mochila tengo bolígrafo y libros. And that's good, but we forgot un bolígrafo y unos libros. Or you can start, tengo un bolígrafo y unos libros en mi mochila, in my backpack. And of course, you decide which 2 school supplies you're going to have. We've got a whole bunch of vocab here. And I'm going to show you a few things to look at and help you before we go today. With this. All right. Do you guys have any questions about this sentence? Okay. Let's. So for this, your only assignment for 205 is the written assignment. But it'll take you a little bit to get it put together. And you might have some back and forth with me as far as, the details. But if you stick with it and follow my suggestions, you'll do fine. Okay, collaboration. If you haven't done collaboration yet, go to it's the assignment that appears right after 2.10. The collaboration segment 1. Open it up, say, hey, we went over lessons 204 and 205 today. This is what I enjoyed about working with other students. This is what I learned today. submit it, and that's an easy 40 points. Okay. I'm gonna escape from here right now on this page, and I'm gonna go to here. I want to show you guys a couple of things. Obviously, you're not at your DBA yet, but I do want to bring up these DBA review materials here for 2.6. Okay, review sheet. And click on this. This is something you can use before you get to your DBA. Okay, it has different little kind of a cheat sheet basically of telling time phrases, question words, definite and indefinite articles, classroom vocabulary, the different types of classes, maybe you forgot, using Brewstar, the months and the days, activities. It doesn't have schools, well, it has some school supplies like el lápiz, el bolígrafo, la regla, las these are things you can put in your backpack, right? Ordinal numbers, if you need that. So again, this is right here on my answer page. And then that pulls up this when you click on it. Next week, we'll be doing the DBA. Remember, you've only got Monday through Thursday to get that done. And even people. Good news, next week I don't have chemo, so I'll be here every day next week, Monday through Thursday. So that'll hopefully make it easier for you guys to make appointments. I do not have any more chemo until Thanksgiving. So, okay. You guys have any questions about the lesson or anything else? Okay. Well, you guys can go ahead and click out. And if you have any questions afterwards, just email me. Bye-bye.
Y'all have a great day.
You too.